أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومكروا ومكر الله والله خير الماكرين. وَدَّت طَّائِفَةٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ لَوْ يُضِلُّونَكُمْ وَمَا يُضِلُّونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ. يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ لِمَ تَكْفُرُونَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَأَنْتُمْ تَشْهَدُونَ. يا أهل الكتاب لم تلبسون الحق بالباطل وتكتمون الحق وأنتم تعلمون.
Which other elements within this passion play, within this myth, have parallels with Christianity?
Well, baptism in the holy river in the Nile, which was considered to be a sacred river, the sacred Nile water, which was carried into the temple, and the statues were anointed with it.
And I baptize you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
The eating of corn bread as the body of Osiris, because corn came about through the sacrifice of Osiris. So this whole eating of bread and drinking of beer that issued from the risen God is also paralleled by the Eucharist Mass in Christianity.
So the corn bed and the beer are paralleled today by having the bread and the wine.
Exactly.
The ancient Egyptian god Osiris, who was the god of the dead.
Another thing they had to do is to implement another feast or festival called the Feast of Ishtar. And this is the goddess of fertility. This is why they have the reference here now to the eggs, yeah, and to the rabbits, because they multiply quickly. So it was a fertility festival from the goddess Ishtar, which we today call Easter. That's where your Easter eggs, your bunnies, and all the rest of it come from. This has nothing to do whatsoever with Christianity.
In the Northern Hemisphere during late December, the days are at their shortest lengths and the nights. For those of the pagan world, this has always been the greatest time of the year to celebrate and practice the works of darkness. The pagan calendar identifies this period as the winter solstice. Witchcraft traditions hold that a number of pagan gods were given birth during this period, including Dionysus, Attis, and Baal, chief male god of fertility and licentiousness. Another pagan god from Persia, identified as Mithra, was said to have been born specifically on December 25th. Mithra was the god of the unconquerable sun. During the month-long winter solstice celebration, courts in Rome were closed. Any and all crimes were allowed. Homosexuality, cross-dressing, and uncontrolled debauchery reigned supreme. Rome's order was turned upside down. Even children were allowed to join in the drunken orgies as part of the Juvenalia celebration.
The Christmas tree was regarded as a sacred tree. The pagans of northern typically worshipped trees. They regarded trees and groves as sacred. So the bringing of the tree into the house would be a way of bringing a supernatural source of blessing into your home. That was the whole idea, that there were spirits who resided in the tree. Santa Claus is another good example of a pagan element of Christmas. Santa Claus, as we know him today, is an amalgamation of several different traditions, but in most cultures throughout the world, you will find the existence of what is known as hearth gods. Gods who guard the hearth and the chimney and keep the fires burning and make sure the food cooks properly and the people are warm and what have you. And at a certain time of year, in the middle of winter, typically, the hearth god dressed in red will come down the chimney to reward those who have pleased him during the course of the previous year, and to lay curses or hexes or other forms of punishment upon people who have displeased him.
The drinking of human blood and the sacrifice of children was performed to please the alien gods who had invaded from the stars. The ancient ruling elite believed that drinking human blood allowed them to absorb human DNA from their ancestors. The Vatican continues this ancient blood-drinking ritual to this day with the symbolic drinking of the blood of Christ.
The goddess Eulogia, whom Skull and Bones calls the goddess of eloquence, arose to the heavens, and she didn't happen to come back down again until 1832, when Russell formed Skull and Bones. So now everything in the society is done in deference to this goddess.
When Constantine convened this council, what he was looking for is absolution. He wanted to be rid of his guilt and sin for having drowned his, or actually boiling his wife and boiled his son, because of the fear that they would try to compete with him for his position.
Talk
as
about
emperor.
insecurity, huh?
Well, in any case, he found a way to get it done. It was through this one sect of Christianity said that if he would say that Jesus was the Son of God and died for his sins, then they would forgive him of his sins.
Yeah, interesting.
And then the trade-off was then that the Roman government would now be forced to accept this particular sect of Christianity as the royal or the official church of the realm.